Hey there, it's Coach C, and welcome to the Daily C. It is day 11, I think, or something like that, of our Coach C's Daily Video Challenge, your daily shot of vitamin C. I hope you're enjoying our YouTube channel and that you're following us, you're subscribing to us. Christine Nielsen, Nielsen, and Contrast Consulting. So there's so many things to share with you today. The first part is we've had an insane week, as you heard yesterday and the day before, building businesses, speaking, and today I launched a new company. So I actually began looking at bringing this company into Contrast Results Group. And what we decided to do is create the opportunity for our clients and people that we work with to work with us on a particular product line. And you're going to hear all about it in the future. I'm not going to share much about it now because I'm not ready, but we did launch the business today, and it's a great opportunity for our clients and for us, and it's something that everyone needs. So I'm not going to say much else about that. So I launched a business today. And also I had mentioned last week that one of the most critical roles on my team for me personally, is our home management. So the person who operates our home and takes care of our family, takes care of our children. She resigned last Friday for personal reasons. And inside of that, by Saturday, I had found a bunch of candidates, put a bunch of job postings out, looked at Indeed, put jobs there, put a posting up on the Canadian Jobs Bank, and really advertised for a new person on my team to really come in and support me, be an EA, and take care of the family while I am traveling. So really the care is for my youngest. My teenagers don't necessarily need it. But that change, we've had our caregiver in our home living and being my support system here we had this particular one for over 2.5 years, almost 3 years. And she was having some health issues, so she resigned. And the change into bringing on and onboarding a new person, it was just really scary. Number one, it's your kids. Number two, will it work out, or do you have to keep interviewing? Do you have to go through this all over again? And it's a challenge. So as much as it's maybe scary isn't the right word, I think it's somewhat inconvenient, to be honest with you, but it's scary from the perspective of you don't know this person, you don't know how they'll handle your family. It's the unknown. And we've had some bad apples. We've had some bad staff, and usually they last about 7 days. And by the end of the week, I'm like, thank you very much. It's not going to work out with us. And often there's either, a personality conflict, or they're just who presented themselves in the interview is not who showed up for the job. And that's what I wanted to touch on today in the Daily C. When you are interviewing staff and team, because as you grow your business this year, you will want to expand your team. You'll be doing interviews, whether you're bringing and onboarding, your personal staff or your EA, or whether you're bringing on a salesperson, a marketing person, whoever you're bringing on. If it's a contract role or an employee, it doesn't matter. The challenge is the person who walks into the interview and the person who shows up for the job, maybe not necessarily the first couple of days, they're often not the same. So you may interview a candidate and pick an incredible candidate for your company and the growth of your business. And then the person that shows up to do the job isn't anything like how they represented themselves. So I strongly recommend a few things to combat that. The first part is don't be the only person interviewing them. Have a series of interview techniques. For me, in Contrast Results Group, I'm actually not allowed to hire our own staff. So even for our household caregiver, who really is my personal assistant and takes care of the family and managing everybody, that role is really important. And she was interviewed by 4 other people before I could make the job offer. And she goes through our HR consultant, José Larocque-Paton. Hopefully you've heard of her. She just recently wrote the HR Navigation and runs HR ICU, and she's a big part of Contrast Results Group. And then other members of my staff also, and then my husband also for this particular role, he does an interview. And we try to ask different questions and find out what is underneath the answers. So when people show up at an interview, their job is to sell you, to enroll you into why you need to work and hire them. You want to be asking questions that they have to answer in ways that is revealing to you. Find things out that are important to them and ask it. You can ask the same question in multiple ways. So, for instance, you can ask a person, different ways why they left their last role and what would have made them stay. So the first question is, why did you leave your last role? What would have made you stay? What would you have wanted to have done differently in that role? And the reason you ask those two questions back to back is they'll tell you why they left, but the answer will be in what could that company or employer have done differently to keep them. You're going to hear the complaints about their employer. Well, guess what? Those are the same complaints that they'll have about you when they leave you. And they're carrying those complaints into your job with them. So we think that we wake up in the morning and it's a fresh start and we're going to get a new job and we're going to interview and everything's going to be great. And what happens for human beings, what happens for us, the way we're wired, is that we bring our past experiences, we bring our old job into the new job. And if you're not careful, all of the reasons why that person left their old job will show up in your company. So you want to make sure that, one, you ask why they left and see what kind of residuals are there. And it may be nothing. They might have left on amazing terms, but if you're hearing complaints, chances are the person who you're hiring and what they're blaming that boss on, they'll find those same faults in you. And this has happened to me a few times, where they just bring that past and they plunk it down into our company, and then we inherit that past and we inherit those behaviors. And the minute they see or have an experience that reminds them of the past, they quit. Guess what? They vote with their feet, or their bad behaviors, their reactions, because what happens is we don't get complete with our past. We don't do the work. And if you're a client of mine or you've done any of the work that we talk about, every reinvention that we do a lot of work on carrying forward resentments, past behaviors, what will get in your way. And 99% of the time, the thing that is going to get in your way is whatever happened in the past. Even though you're trying to reset the future, you need to vigilantly understand and get complete. And there's ways that we do that. And we'll talk about that another time, or you can go online and contact us. Check out our Facebook at Christine Nielsen or Contrast Consulting, brand name coming, Contrast Results Group on Instagram, or Coach C Official. I hope you've enjoyed this, your Daily C, the Daily Shot of C, and talking about why employees who you interview don't necessarily show up on the job the way that they interviewed. Take care. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Happy Saturday.